Dear friends, members of the HR community, and respected audience, a very warm welcome to this evening. This is Mohammad Mashequr Rahman Khan, President, Bangladesh Society for Human Resources Management. We hope you all are doing fine and staying safe. Today, May 15, 2020, is a very special day to have the opportunity to welcome and introduce you with the world's most respected HR guru, Dev Ulrich. It is the privilege of BSHRM as well as for Bangladesh to have Professor Dev Ulrich with us, and we are excited to have a very fruitful deliberation of valuable presentation by Dev and question answer with discussion in next 30 to 35 minutes. It will be an interactive session where they will be clarifying the queries and the concerns based on international and Bangladesh perspectives as well. Before we get into a core discussion, please let me take the opportunity to share the short, brief, but very enriching portfolio of Dev. Dev Olic is the Rensis Linkert Professor of Business at the Ross School of University of Michigan, USA, and a partner of RBL Group, a consulting firm focused on helping organizations and deliver value. He has published over 30 books and 200 articles, chapters that have shaped the fields of leadership to deliver results of and of human resources to create value, where he is known as the father of modern HR. He has worked with over half of the Fortune 200 companies, has numerous lifetime achievement awards for organization leadership and HR work, and is in the Thinkers 50 Hall of Fame. Dave and Wendy live in the Alpine Ultra Utah, have 3 children and 10 grandchildren. I also like to introduce Mr. Kaji Rakibuddin Ahmed, respected Vice President, BSHRM, and Mr. M. Nazrul Islam, General Secretary, BSHRM. I would not take much time. Now, I would request our most respected Professor Dave Ulrich to kindly present his deliberation. Dave, please.
Mashequr, thank you very much. What an honor to be with you. And Nazul and Kazi, I'll say your first names. I will not pronounce well your second name. So thank you very, very much. I welcome you to my office. This is one of the benefits of the pandemic, is that we get to see each person in their home. We got to see Nazul's son take his food away. That was very good of your son. And congratulations to your son. You may see my office as well. I'm honored to be with you today. I thank you for inviting me. This is not something we'd often been able to do. I'm going to try to share my screen so that you have a copy of slides. So let me share my screen and see if the technology will work with us. So if it does, that's wonderful. If not, that will not be so wonderful. It looks like the screen is not being shared. So, shoot. Okay. Nope, the screen is not being shared. You know, technology is not always your friend. That's too bad. That happens, and that's okay. So, let me cancel that. Let me try once more. And you may need to allow me to share my screen. I'll try to share it again, but it's not working.
Okay, sure.
Let's try it once more.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
there we
Carry
go.
on.
Can you now see my screen?
Oh, nothing,
No, I can't.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's coming. Yes.
excellent.
All right. Yes. I can see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Can you see?
Yeah.
Can you see me also at the same time, or do you just see
No.
my screen?
Yes.
Let me ask again. Can you see
Sure.
me
We,
and the
we
screen,
can
or
see
just
you
the
as well.
screen? All right.
Both.
I cannot
Yes.
see me, so I
We
don't see me, but I see my notes. You know, I am a technology troglodyte. I am not great at technology, but I hope that I can share these and have a discussion. I'm so honored to be here. I want to talk today about 5 things about the HR role in a crisis and the fundamental assumption about that role, what the crisis looks like, some paradoxes, deliverables, and agendas. And so I'm going to talk for about 25 minutes, and then we'll have time for a few questions. And again, let me get into the discussion. I want to start by talking about a fundamental assumption. And it starts with a question. And I'm going to ask you to think about this wherever you are in your Friday evening in Bangladesh. What's the most important thing that HR can give an employee? No matter where we are, what's the most important thing we can give an employee? When I ask that question, I almost always get answers like a sense of belief, purpose, meaning, a sense of becoming better, learning and growth, a sense of belonging, being part of a community. Or people say all 3 of those: believe, become, and belong. I'm going to change that assumption. I think the most important thing that we can give an employee is an organization that succeeds in the marketplace. No matter where we are in Bangladesh, no matter where we are in Brazil, no matter where we are in Germany, in the UK, in the United States, our job in HR is to help our organization succeed in the marketplace. If we don't succeed in the marketplace, there is no workplace. And so I want to make sure that everything we do in HR builds value outside in. When we think about who are the stakeholders of HR, who do we serve? We often think below the line. We serve the employees. That's true. We help them get value and productivity. We serve the line managers inside the company. But above the line, we also in HR provide value and service to our customers, our investors, the community and citizenship, and partners we have. That's my fundamental assumption, that HR success is outside in. The second point is, so how has the COVID-19 crisis changed our world? This is a big slide, and I'll try to just walk through the idea really simply. Remember, the overall assumption is that HR is not about HR. It's about creating value for others. And the other people for whom we create value are often customers and investors outside. So in that logic, the context is the kingdom. Content is king. We've got to have good content. We've got to have good ideas. But the context is the kingdom in which we work. You know, until January of this year, the context of work was around social, technical, economic, political trends on the right-hand side. Technology being a key one. Although you notice today, I'm not very good with technology. But we're changing. What happened in February, March of this year was the coronavirus. These headlines are around the world. In fact, I was just making a comment to somebody in my writing. Almost never has there been such a global issue. This affects every part of the world, from Latin America to Asia, to North America, to Europe, to Africa. Everyone is being affected, and we have to learn new words. Before March of this year, I never thought much about social distancing or COVID-19 or flattening the curve or drive-through testing or the incubation period. All of these new words have forced us in the coronavirus to think differently about what we do. So I began to say, what's our role in HR in this crisis? And I'm going to talk about 3 things. I'm going to talk, first of all, about navigating paradox and managing paradox. And I believe our role in this crisis is like a Rubik's Cube. There's three things we have to manage. One are not paradox, but some principles. And the first challenge we have is to begin to manage some principles in progress. I've been asking, and I'm going to hit three pieces of these cubes. I've been asked by many people to say, so in this crisis, what's the new normal in how we pay people, how we train people, how we hire people? And I'm saying, I don't know what the new normal is, but I do know that there's some principles that we should be aware of. And in this coronavirus, there's 5 principles, and I'll talk about each of them. Principle number 1, we need to be able to personalize and customize work. You know, the virus affects each of us differently. My wife and I are obviously older. We have I'll share this. I hope you can see it. I can't see myself. I have 3 children and 10 grandchildren, as Mashequr said. Our children have children. And in the United States, they are homeschooling their children because they can't leave home. That is putting enormous pressure on them. In fact, this week, after 7 weeks, our daughter called, she has 2 children, and she said, Mom and Dad, our children, my children, Carrie's children, need a sleepover at their grandparents' house. And so one night this week, she brought her children down and they spent some time at our house. She's feeling the pressure of being a parent and homeschooling and working with children. Others are feeling very different pressures because of this virus. One of the takeaways in HR is we need to come back to work and continue work to tailor what we offer to customers, to give them what they uniquely need, and then to personalize the agreements that we may have with employees. Principle 2, we need to redefine the boundaries of work. This story is told, and it's from Europe, of a man who's cutting bricks. And somebody says to the man, what are you doing? And he says, I'm laying bricks. Another bricklayer says, they say, what are you doing? And he says, I'm putting up a wall. And they go to the third bricklayer, what are you doing? And he says, I'm building a cathedral for my faith. You know, each of those bricklayers had a different perception. I think the second principle is we have to redefine or rethink work. Traditionally, our view of work was physical. I go to work, I'm at work, and I go home from work. I think what we're learning is that it doesn't matter where we work. Just like the bricklayer had to change his view about what he was doing from laying bricks to building a cathedral, we need to change our perception of work, that it's not a place we go to, but a set of values we live. For example, in this coronavirus, almost everybody is working from home. And they're saying, I'm now working from home, soon I'll go back to work. Well, working at home is work. The boundaries of work are, what did you do when you were working at home? Were you doing activities that helped your company succeed in the marketplace? The values of helping create value for customers are the new boundaries of work, no matter where we work. Number 3, paradoxes in the coronavirus. A paradox means there's 2 things that I have to manage simultaneously. It's so interesting in this virus. I think what we're learning is there's not a simple solution. There's constant paradoxes. I have to care for the individual, and I have to attend to my organization. I've got to navigate both of those. I've got to be bold with short-term activities. I've got to have long-term values. I met with an executive team, business team, and they said, here's the bold short-term things we have to do. This happened to be at a university. Schedule classes, manage faculty, get online teaching. And I said, let's make sure that those short-term activities are consistent with our long-term values of exceptional care, exceptional accountability, exceptional results. I've got to converge. I've got to focus my attention. The coronavirus and crisis is a great excuse for focusing. What are the critical few things I should do? And I've got to diverge to look for new solutions. of crisis is an opportunity to experiment, to get new alternatives. I've got to be resilient, look back, learn, and I've got to be aspirational. Navigating and managing those paradoxes is the third principle. The fourth principle, I've got to harness uncertainty. One of the things we're discovering around the world is we don't know a lot. And when we don't know things, we're uncertain. In the back of our brains, we have what's called the limbic system. And when we don't know, we feel threatened. We need to change that, because when we feel threatened, we get narrow, we get focused. We're not exploratory. We're not growing. We need to harness that uncertainty and accept that the threat can become an opportunity. Face my fears, my vulnerabilities. Look at uncertainty as a chance to take risk, experiment, try new things, fail forward, deliberate, celebrate what I'm doing. Even in the world of uncertainty, be calm, be curious. You just saw it today. We tried to sign on at 8 p.m. your time. The technology didn't work. Mashequr, Narzel, and Kazi were also calm. I admire your calmness. I was less calm. I need to accept that. It's uncertain. And ultimately, we define success from within. And principle 5, seek guidance. Guidance means that we focus on the things that matter most. When I was newly married, I went to a career guidance counselor. The guidance counselor gave me some tests and learned my skills and gave me counsel on what I could do to fulfill my career. Now, later in my career, I get guidance on how to retire or the technology. We are building in our work at RBL a guidance system that will help you have guidance to go forward. I've just talked about 5 principles in HR, not paradoxes. Those are a piece of what we do. The second piece of my Rubik's Cube are the deliverables. So in this crisis, we have 5 principles that will guide how we think. We customize and personalize work. We redefine the boundaries of work. We navigate paradox. We harness uncertainty, and we provide guidance. Where do those principles apply? 3 places: talent, organization, and leadership. These are the 3 places where we in HR can create distinct and unique value. When we're sitting in a business meeting, when we're sitting in any business meeting, we can say to the business leader, what is it we're trying to accomplish as a company? And that strategy may be to grow by innovation and new products, to get more revenue from customers, to geographically expand. In HR, we should ask 3 questions. Do we have the right talent? That's the workforce, the people. Do we have people who have the competence and skills to deliver our strategy? For example, as many companies become more digital, have we learned some of the digital skills that we need? And have we brought those digital skills in? Do we have the right competence? Where do we get those people? How do we source those people? Do we have the current development agenda for our existing people? Are we developing? Are we appraising? Are we encouraging our current talent to improve? Are our people committed? And under talent, we can talk about commitment and engagement. But we also want to look at the other extreme of culture. Do we have the right culture? Do we have the right organizational capabilities? Do we have the workplace? Do we have the processes? We need to have great talent. We also have to have a great culture or team. And in fact, what we have found in our research that great talent, the individual ingredients become critical, but a great team or culture becomes even more critical to our long-term success. So we need good talent and we need good culture. And they come together around leadership. Leaders and leadership shapes talent. Leaders and leadership also shapes culture. So again, when I walk into a meeting with any business leader, I should probe for 3 things. Do we have the right talent, the right skills, the right people, the right commitment, the right engagement? Do we have the right organizational culture, the right workplace, the right processes, the right teamwork? And do we have the right leadership? And all 3 of those areas, talent, leadership, and culture, should be focused outside in. at finding ways to help us succeed and win in the marketplace. Because the right people means the people that help us serve our customers better. We have found, for example, in our research that employee experience with our people is a lead indicator of customer experience. So invest in our people so that our customers feel good. Do we have a customer-focused culture? Does the identity we promise and brand that we promise our customers reflect to the culture that we create inside? And do we have what we call the leadership brand? Do our leaders practice the skills that are consistent with what we promise our customers? The third dimension of my three-legged cube. As we see opportunities for HR in this virus, we have to have principles for where we make progress, to think about personalizing work, redefining boundaries, navigating paradox, harnessing uncertainty, and providing guidance. We have to have HR deliverables of talent, organization, culture, and leadership. Now, what does that mean for us in HR? Do we have the right department? And do we have the right competencies? The right department is fascinating. In the HR world we live in, we looked at number 4. Here's what the right HR department looks like. In fact, I was working this week with a company, 2 companies this week. They're trying to transform HR. Here's what they've done. In row number 4, they've tried to redefine the roles and the expectations of how we have our specialists working with our generalists. And they spent time trying to design the right HR department by who plays what role and how we work together. They asked my opinion. I did a book in 1997 called HR Champions, where I focused on the roles, the 4th role of an HR department. And the roles I talked about in 1997 were strategic partner, change agent, employee champion, administrative expert, and you organize a department to do that. Well, 23 years later, the world has changed. My cell phone is no longer the same cell phone I had in 1997. The computer, the headset, this technology is no longer the same, neither is HR. In order to transform HR and be effective, we have to manage all 9 of these dimensions. We've got to figure out our reputation, number 1. What is it we want to be known for by our key stakeholders? What's our identity? Are we partners? Are we players? Are we contributors? Number 2, we've got to expand our customer view. Our customers are not just the employees inside the company. Our customers are the customers of our company, the investors, the communities where we live and work. Number 3, we've got to get clear about our mission, what we deliver. Why do we exist? What are the outcomes that will happen because we do great HR? Number 4, clearly, we've got to get the right HR department to have our experts working with our generalists. Number 5, we have to create the right organization for the business. We obviously deliver talent. We obviously deliver people and leadership, but we've also got to get the business organization right. We found in our research that the organization has 4 times the impact on business results than the talent. Number 6, we have to do great HR analytics. Analytics is about giving people information so that they can make better decisions. Our job in HR is not just to have a scorecard or a dashboard. I wrote a book with 2 co-authors called The HR Scorecard about 20 years ago. Today, it's out of date. It's no longer the book I should look at because it's not about a scorecard or a dashboard or even insights. It's about impact by providing guidance to what we become. Number 7, we have to invent and create and deploy great HR practices in people, how we bring them in, how we move them through, how we develop them, performance, how we appraise them and reward them, information practices about communication, and work practices about policies. Number 8, we need to have great HR professionals. I'll talk about in a minute. And number 9, we have to work well as an HR team. Those 9 domains define what effective HR looks like. Number 8 in those domains are the skills of HR professionals. what we've said in our research and in the book Victory Through Organization is that we need to build great competencies for HR to be successful. We identified 9 competencies or skills for successful HR. In the middle, the most critical is to navigate paradox, because paradox means, and I talked about paradox before, the ability to manage differences and tension. When we in HR can navigate paradox, our business is more likely to succeed. We need to be a credible activist to build a relationship of trust, to learn to work with our business leaders. We need to be strategic positioners who understand the context of business. Those are the core drivers that help HR succeed. We also need the strategic enablers to navigate and change culture that we talked about, to build human capital and talent, to create a reward system. And we need the enablers, compliance, analytics, and technology. This is my picture, and I want to put this picture back up to highlight my message in Bangladesh. And I'm not an expert in Bangladesh. I've not had a privilege of being there. Someday I hope I can. But through this technology and this vehicle, as we look forward, here are 5 principles that we should think about. Personalizing and customizing with customers outside and employees inside. Redefining boundaries of work. It doesn't matter where you work, as long as the boundaries of shared values are present. The third principle, navigating paradox. Being able to manage differences, long-term, short-term, top-down, bottom-up, individual, organization. Number 4, and the one I sometimes struggle with, is harnessing uncertainty. Being flexible, being calm, being able to quickly adapt. And number 5, focusing and providing guidance so that we, out of this coronavirus, we focus of what we can do to succeed. Those are the principles, the way we think. So what is it we uniquely deliver in HR? We deliver talent, our people, their competence, their commitment. We deliver organization, the culture, and the right culture. We deliver, or we co-deliver with business leaders, leadership at all levels. Let me say that again. We are the architects, not the owners, of talent, organization, and leadership. And what then are the HR implications? Create an HR department based on 9 dimensions. Create the right HR competencies that will move us forward to what we do. Now, in my comments, let me end with where I think is my favorite and most important place. And then we'll take about 10 minutes or so to questions. I often get to ask people, what was the best year of your life? And people look back, oh, when I was in college, it was a great year. When I was newlywed. I think those are the wrong answers. Here's my message. The best year of my life is the next year. The best year of my life is the next year. The best year of my life is what's coming. And what I want to always look at in HR is, where are we headed in HR? And let me say it again. Where we're headed is to create value, to help others be successful. Not only inside the company, the employees, the leaders, but outside with customers and investors. How are we going to create that value coming out of this corona crisis? By understanding 5 principles of how we think about ourselves and our work, by identifying 3 targets to deliver: talent, leadership, and organization, and by getting HR right for HR, building HR effectiveness across 9 dimensions, acquiring and demonstrating HR competencies. With that in mind, the best is always yet ahead. I hope you'll join me on LinkedIn or the RBL group at rbl.net to help us figure out what we can do to begin to move forward. With that, I am going to stop sharing and go back to the slides so that we can see each other. That was hard to do, and I couldn't see myself, but I hope in that 27 minutes or 26 minutes, I got through the material and leaves us 10 to 15 minutes for questions.
Okay. Should I start the questions to you?
Yeah. Yes.
Get it? Okay. Just snap. All of our people
Well,
are...
no. I have a question, but time out. Before I ask, I have a question for you, and any of the 3 of you can answer.
Okay.
What excites you about HR in Bangladesh? What is exciting about HR in Bangladesh? What gives you a positive image of HR? Any of the three. And then I'll let you ask your questions. But I want to learn from you. And that was more formal. Yes, Kazi.
Okay.
You're on mute.
Sorry about that. Hello.
We got you. That's good. By the way, thank you for making me feel better about technology. We're all learning technology. Thank you. Okay, what excites you, Kazi?
Yeah. Personally, what excites me is that we're going through a lot of different models. We're going through primitive stage, the middle age stage, the modern stage. So you have always challenges. When you have challenges, you are trying to be creative and be more active and be more contributing to the cause of the company.
Very nice. Thank you. Nazul or Mashequr, either of you would like to respond? Great. Thank you, Kazi. Thank you.
Nazrul.
Yes, if I got your question, that is what excites to work in HR
in Bangladesh.
In Bangladesh, yeah. Basically, if we see the transformation in Bangladesh, say from administrative to personnel department to human resource, now it's to human capital. So basically, we are in a stage to prove as ourselves, the HR professionals, as business partner to the shareholders or to the CEO of the organization. So that is the exciting part for us to prove ourselves how we can add value to the business to achieve the strategic business goal in the long run or in the middle range.
Thank you. And Mashequr, I think let me respond and then I'll have you ask me questions, but because I know your answer would be much the same. I get so excited when I hear the three of you because go ahead.
Okay. We are excited for HR and we are excited for Dave because Dave is father of modern HR. And but in Bangladesh, we have 162 million people in HR, people first. So we have 162 million people. Our challenge is to transform the people to the human resources, human capital as a whole. What Nazul said and Kazi said, that we have to be the real strategic business partner. And nowadays, the gurus are saying that HR is not only the strategic partner, HR is the main core business as well. So we are very much concerned and we are very much excited to our HR, and special all the viewers are excited to have you with us.
Kind. You know what I heard, and then I'll go to your questions, is when there's evolution of a country, and Bangladesh is evolving quickly as a country with 162 million people, that evolution is fostered not just in the products or services in the ground, and some countries grow because they have oil or they have access to it, but the knowledge and skill set of our people. And HR is a lead partner in helping create that knowledge and skill set so that we become a more effective country and a more effective economy. Somebody once said to me, under pressure, rocks can either become diamonds or they become dust. And I hope under the opportunity in Bangladesh, as the country is growing so rapidly, that pressure creates diamonds out of our people, that their knowledge and their skills and their abilities help us as a country grow and people grow, that it isn't dust. So I took too much time with that. We've got about 10 minutes for your questions. So let's go to your questions.
Okay. Just some facilitation. So they get to see you all. Great.
Masheq bhai,
স্পেসিফিক কোশ্চেনে চলে যাই না?
ওই যে আসিফ জামান ভাইয়ের একটা প্রশ্ন আছে,
অনেকের আছে। আমি যাচ্ছি ওখানে, আমি যাচ্ছি।
Exactly.
হ্যাঁ,
Should
এখন
I read Asif Zaman to?
হ্যাঁ আমি যাচ্ছি নিচে।
I did not hear a question.
Basically, Mr. Dev,
Yes.
the question from Mr. Asif Zaman is the head of HR of CTNA Bangladesh. CTNA, his question is, when digital transformation and artificial intelligence will change the future of work, what one advice you will give to HR to survive and to stay relevant?
Great question. Thank you. It's hard to pick one, but if I had to pick one, and because it's my passion, I love to learn. And I think learning means that I don't look back to succeed at what I did, and I look forward to what the opportunity can be. So my advice to an HR professional in a country, especially like Bangladesh, where the country is successfully learn what worked, what did not work, what does the future look like, what succeeded, what can I do to move forward. And for me, learning is so critical, but I got to connect it to number two, learning that creates value for someone else. Learning is not just about what I know, but it's about learning that will create value to what other people should know. So, for example, when I coach business leaders, I often say, what are your strengths? What are your passions? And they have them. That's learning. How are you using your strengths and passions to help somebody else get better? And I think it's that ability to learn to move us forward that becomes critical. I can see a question on the screen. Should I respond to that question, or would you like to focus on? Okay, I will respond to that. Thank you for the question. Let me go through the question real quickly. We involve, is not the practice in most cases. Real HR obviously probably is getting stuck in the service part. You know, I think your question is very helpful. I think one of the biggest barriers to HR having more value creation and impact is not the business leader. I had an interview this morning with some folks in Taiwan, and they said, our business leaders don't like HR. And my comment was, it's because we in HR don't help the business leader do their job. So my response to the question is, when I meet with a business leader, I don't start by talking about HR. I don't start by saying, here's what we can do to hire people, to train people, to pay people. I start by saying to the business leader, what are the challenges you face? What are you wrestling with? What do you have to do to be successful? And it may be more product innovation. It may be better relationships with customers. It may be more innovation. It may be lower cost. Then to look to the business leader and say, I can be helpful to you by giving you better abilities in talent, the right people, the right skills, leadership, and organization. Would you be interested, to the business leader, in having the talent, leadership, and organization that help you reach your goals? And what I find is almost all business leaders would say, of course. They say, I used to think of HR as the policy police to tell me what I couldn't do, not to help me create what I can do in talent, leadership, and organization. Next question. I'll just read through these. Question today. That one went so fast. And the end, while employee safety has been priority, how do you think HR can play a sustainable role? You know, I had one of those paradoxes in my notes between individual care and organizational success. Safety is so critical, not only physical safety, which is absolutely critical, and above all else, the health and safety of our employees. That's why we shelter at home. That's why we use hand sanitizer. That's why we do all the things that give us physical safety. But we've also got to be clear in HR that we have to help our organization succeed. And so I think we need to be able to talk to the business leader and say, what can we do to help our company compete in the market? Is that through product innovation, new revenue, new top line growth? If so, what do we have to do with talent, organization, and leadership to grow? Or do we have to cut costs? And there are times when we have to cut costs. The cost can be around project investments. It can be around process improvement, or it could be around labor productivity. If the cost is in labor, we can then help the business leader say, what are the options to managing that cost? A lot of people say we have to lay people off. That's not always the first choice. maybe everybody takes a 10 to 20% pay cut. I've seen companies do that for 3 months. Everybody takes a 10 or 20% pay cut. And the senior business leaders, I was on the board of directors of a company, the hourly employees took a 10 to 20% pay cut. The board of directors, the senior leaders, took a 70% pay cut because they had more resource. Now, that was for 3 months. Our job in HR is to help us figure out how to help our company compete in that marketplace. What are the considerable factors we in Bangladesh practitioners must address? Please explain. With reference to Bangladesh, let me tell you, I know what I don't know. I don't know Bangladesh. I wouldn't claim to. Here's my counsel to you who asked the question. Look at the 3 men on the picture. I look at those 3 men. They are the experts in Bangladesh. They know Bangladesh from the inside out. They were born there. Their parents were born there. Ask them what these ideas mean for Bangladesh. I don't want to get in trouble. I know the HR ideas that I've shared. Create value, win in the marketplace, serve through talent, leadership, and organization. You'll have to help me discover. That's, by the way, what I loved about the answers. That's why I asked the question. What are you excited about in Bangladesh? All 3 of you said, we can learn, we can grow, we can make HR move from policy to partner. We can help HR make a difference, and we're excited. So you see the experts in Bangladesh. When supply of human capital is more than demand, what could be the solution for people who will lose their jobs? How can HR support these unused competencies? What a great question. You know, we saw in some companies in the United States, which was really exciting. They decided they were having to lay people off because some companies were growing and others were declining. Technology is growing, others are declining. They formed an HR collaboration with the heads of HR. So a company that was laying off people said, we're going to have to let people go to cut costs. Zoom, and I'll use an example of Zoom, and Intel, who are growing because of technology, and Apple, they then went to those companies that were laying people off, and they said, we're growing. Can we begin to take some of your people? What a great idea. And they didn't wait for the government. They didn't wait for anyone else. The heads of HR got together and put together an HR cooperative to share talent. I think we can do that. And I hope we can do those in good ways. Well, initiatives can be taken by the HR Department of Profession. What initiatives can be taken by the HR Department of Professional for managing remote team to ensure goals? This is so helpful. Remember, I said the principle is it doesn't matter where you work. At home, in an office, in a hotel. What matters is what you work on. I'll give an example. I believe that the key value that holds us together as a company is a shared commitment to serving customers. That's the value, that's the focus. So a couple of weeks ago, everybody's working at home, we're isolated, we're doing the homework. An HR person in company A, I'll hold up my finger, 1, was working at home. Their biggest customer, company 2, I'll hold it a fist, was also working at home. So we said to the HR person in company 1, are you doing things today that will help your customers be more successful? What a great question. So here's what happened. The HR person in company 1 called the HR people in company 2, their customer, and said, I'm working from home, you're working from home. What's working for you? What are you learning? And suddenly the HR people in company 1 and the HR people in company 2 began to form a relationship. What a great idea. What a great idea. Are we doing things from wherever we work and however we work that connect us with our customers? It's fortunate to see you. I'm sorry. I don't like to be seen. I have 2 chins, so I'm sorry. Excellent session. Thanks. Okay. Are there any other questions? We have about 1 minute left. And
last question, Dr. Kamaluddin Jasim. He's senior banker.
Oh, let me see this. Thanks, President, for arranging. That was just a thank you. Let me give my thanks to you. You said what's the most important thing HR can do. I'm going to show a quick story, 2 things that I hope we get out of this. When the coronavirus happened in the United States, the thing that was most difficult at home was finding toilet paper. I have no idea why, but toilet paper was missing everywhere. So my wife and I were older. We have a lot of toilet paper in our house. We went and got paper bags, and we went and we bought 15 rolls of toilet paper. And so what we did on a Sunday, which is our day of Sunday, a day of worship, we went to each of our neighbors. We knocked on their door, and they opened the door. And we stayed 6 feet away, social distancing, and we sang them a song. We wish you a happy Sabbath. We wish you a happy Sabbath with many future returns, or some stupid song. And we gave them a roll of toilet paper, a bottle of water, and a candy bar. And we said, we are thinking of you. And they laughed and they laughed. And what was really funny is about 3 days later, one of the families took the inside roll, they pulled it out, and they gave it back to us with a roll of what's called a candy called Lifesavers. And they said, you were a lifesaver. We've used up your roll of toilet paper. Now, those are both jokes. The message is have fun, learn, grow. And the final thing, I love to give my wife gifts after 44 years, and I never know what to get her. So the last gift I gave her, one of the last gifts, I made a pillow. Where is it? Where are we? This is the pillow I made for my wife. I'm not failing, I'm learning. And I hope that's a message as Bangladesh HR moves forward. We're failing, we're struggling, but we're not failing. We're experimenting, we're learning. And that's the message I hope I can leave you with. I'm not failing, I'm learning. Bless you. And thank you so much for that opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Simply great.
I think
great,
we should not simply great. We are learning, and we are learning for new normal. We are learning for the changes, and we are learning from the technology, IoT, all these things which Industry 4 will bring after 2 or 3 years. That's already brought by coronavirus. So we will learn for the future. I think you have given us much more time, so we'll not kill your time. I know you have another meeting today. Now, this is very morning. So I think it was a great learning session indeed. I, on behalf of Bangladesh Society for Human Resources Management, as well as the HR and other professionals of Bangladesh, would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Professor Dave Ulrich for all you, for your valuable time, effort, energy showcased for fruitful session. Hope we are able to add significant value to our career and able to contribute to our organizations and as a whole our nation. I really thankful to you. Goodbye for today, but
before making goodbye, on behalf of Bangladesh Society for Human Resource Management and on behalf of the HR professionals of Bangladesh, we are happily inviting Mr. Dev to visit Bangladesh. Hope, inshallah, after post-COVID, things will normal and we will get Dev in his physical presence.
Yes, we like to see you physically, not virtually, and when everything will be okay. Definitely, you remember Professor Dev in the year.
I apologize. I am going to have to go because I have a commitment 5 minutes ago. So, thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
All right.
Thank you. এখন আমরা সবাই আছি। আপনারা ডেফিনেটলি বাংলাদেশ সোসাইটি ফর হিউম্যান রিসোর্সেস ম্যানেজমেন্টের যে প্রচেষ্টা, আমরা গ্লোবাল এইচআর লিডার্স সহ ন্যাশনাল এইচআর লিডার্স এবং বিভিন্ন সেক্টরসের লোকজন নিয়ে এসে আমাদের পিপুলকে এনরিচ করার জন্য, আমাদের পিপুলদের কম্পিটেন্সি বাড়ানোর জন্য এবং ইন রিয়েল সেন্স যাতে আমাদের হিউম্যান রিসোর্স, হিউম্যান ক্যাপিটালে এবং রিয়েল সেন্সে স্ট্র্যাটেজিক বিজনেস পার্টনার হিসেবে থাকে, সেই জন্য আমরা চেষ্টা করছি। ইনশাল্লাহ আমাদের এই প্রচেষ্টা অব্যাহত থাকবে। আপনারা BSHRM এর সাথে থাকবেন এবং সামনের দিনগুলা যদিও আমাদের জন্য চ্যালেঞ্জেস, all the challenges bring some new opportunities, and we are finding these opportunities, and definitely we will have the opportunities, and we have to reskilling and upskilling our people, especially as President of Bangladesh Society for Human Resources Management. My earnest request to young HR professionals to learn from Dave and others so that we will honored, our HR will be honored. So for today, goodbye, আসসালামু আলাইকুম, রামাদান মুবারক, সবাই সুস্থ থাকবেন, ভালো থাকবেন এবং ইনশাল্লাহ BSHRM এর সাথে থাকবেন। এবং রাকিব ভাই, নজরুল ভাই দুজনকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ, বিশেষ করে ভিউয়ার্স যারা আমাদের সাথে ছিলেন, অনেক ভিউয়ার্স ছিলেন, আমরা সবার কোশ্চেন আনতে পারিনি, বিশেষ করে আসিফ জামান ভাইয়ের কোশ্চেনটা আমি বারবার দেখতেছিলাম যে কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার সেশনের ফার্স্টে আমি আনবো। থ্যাংক ইউ নজরুল ভাই যে আসিফ জামান ভাইয়ের কোশ্চেনটা আপনি নোট করেছিলেন, আমি এখানে নিয়ে আসতে পারিনি। তো আমাদের প্রফেসর খসরু মিয়া, KM আলী স্যার, ফার্ম পাবেল, অনেক ভিউয়ার্স আপনারা কমেন্টস করেছেন। তো আমরা এতে ইন্সপায়ার্ড। on behalf of all of us three, thank you so much. আল্লাহ হাফেজ।
ইভেন কাজী ভাই,
হ্যাঁ কাজী
ভাই
জি, আল্লাহ হাফেজ।
কাজী ভাই এটাও আমি একবার স্ক্রিনে এনেছিলাম।
মাসুক ভাই, আমরা মনে হয় অ্যাডমিট করতে পারি যে যারা যারা ইয়ে করেছেন, আমি যদি যাই সিরিয়ালে, যে শিবলি শিপু, কাজী M আহমেদ মানে কাজী ভাই, মাহমুদ রহমান মন্ডল লিটন, সোহেল রানা, নাসিম হাসান খান, মিজানুর রহমান মিজান, আনিতা মার্গারেট রোজারিও, মুজাহিদুল ইসলাম জাহিদ, মৃত্যুঞ্জয় চক্রবর্তী, সাইফুল ইসলাম, দেন আসিফ জামান অফ কোর্স, আরাফাত জাহান রুশো, দেন মিস্টার সুলতান, বুরহানুস সুলতান, আইরিন আক্তার, রাজু আহমেদ, শিবলি H আহমেদ, ফারদু খান, দেন আব্দুল মালেক, খসরু মিয়া, as you mentioned, রিয়াদ মাহমুদ, দেন তানজির করিম, শিবলি শিপু, আবু রুমি, শামস পাভেল, রিয়াদ মাহমুদ, মোহাম্মদ আলী, আমজাদ হোসেন, হাবিবা আক্তার, মামুন মুস্তফা, ডক্টর কামাল জসিমউদ্দিন, as you mentioned, রেদওয়ানুল মাহমুদ, and MD রায়হান, সুমন কুমার সাহা, দিবাকর দাস, শামস পাভেল, মুস্তফা আরিফ মাহমুদ আমাদের ইসি মেম্বার, ফাহাদ আহমেদ, দেন MD রহমান, ফারহান পাবেল, আরিফুল্লাহ চিরগং, আমাদের চিরগং চ্যাপ্টার GS, মিস্টার আলমগীর কবির, MD জাহিরুল ইসলাম, সুমন কুমার সাহা, মানিক সাজ্জাদ, ম্যাক্স এক্স, সাইফুল ইসলাম, সালাউদ্দিন আহমেদ, এন্ড জুলফিকার হুসাইন, মিস্টার আমাদের BSHRM এর মানে ওয়েলুশাহ জুলফিকার স্যার, দেন সাব্বিরুল ইসলাম। সো যারা বেসিক্যালি কমেন্টস করেছেন, আমরা সময়ের জন্য হয়তো সবার কমেন্টস গুলো পড়তে পারছি না, বাট ইনডিড ইটস ইন্সপায়ারিং। আমি
নজরুল ভাই আরো কিছু আছে,
জি আরো আছে, হ্যাঁ,
ফারহান পাভেল, তারপর আমজাদ হোসেন, সুমন কুমার সাহা,
জি জি,
মানিক সাজ্জাদ,
হ্যাঁ নামগুলো মেনশন করেছি,
হ্যাঁ,
জি,
সালাউদ্দিন, জুলফিকার হুসাইন, হ্যাঁ সবগুলো
নাম মেনশন করেছি।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। আমরা বোধহয় এখানে শেষ করতে পারি।
সো এটা আমাদের জন্য ইন্সপাইরেশন, এবং থ্যাঙ্কস টু
অল ভিউয়ার্স।
জি,
তো থ্যাংক ইউ রাকিব ভাই, থ্যাংক ইউ নজরুল
আমরা
ভাই,
ক্লোজ করব, মাসুদ ভাই,
থ্যাংক ইউ অল ভিউয়ার্স। আমরা ক্লোজ করি। সবাইকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ, এবং আপনাদের অনুপ্রেরণায় আমরা ডেভের মতো একজন ওয়ার্ল্ড রিনোড এবং মডার্ন ফাদার অফ মডার্ন HR কে আমাদের মাঝে পেয়েছি। আশা করি সামনের দিকে আপনারা আমাদের BSHRM এর সাথে থাকবেন। সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ এবং শুভরাত্রি।
Ramadan. Very special thanks to Mr. Mashequr Rahman Khan.
No,
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
We're proud of
your
you.
initiatives. Yeah.
In fact, since 2016, I had been with Dev Ulrich in connection. That's why has been possible. And special thanks to Rakib Bhai, Nazul Bhai, our executive counselor. For your support, we have been able to bring Dev. So thank you so much. ভালো থাকবেন
Thank you.
সবাই,
Thank you.
সুস্থ
Thank
থাকবেন।
you. Allah
Thank
Hafiz.
you.
Allah Hafiz.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।